Have you been thinking about planting a vegetable garden with all the free time you have on your hands? Today on Homegrown, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about gardening from your kitchen scraps. Some of the vegetables that we routinely consume are immature varieties of the actual vegetable. So take something like this. This is a common zucchini. And when you cut that zucchini open, you can see that the seeds inside are present, but they're not mature yet. It will take this vegetable some time to grow these seeds into a mature state that they could be planted in our garden. The problem with that is, by the time the seeds are mature, the vegetable is no longer as good of eating quality as it is when it's young and tender. So how about those vegetables that we eat that are harvested when they're mature? Take something like a tomato, for example. This tomato has seeds inside, and those seeds could be planted in your home garden. There's a bit of a challenge there. The mother plant that this plant came from was the same genetically as all the other plants in the farmer's field. That allows the farmer to produce fruit of an even size, shape, and color. The challenge is the seeds that are inside this plant are not going to be genetically identical to this tomato because they were produced from a cross in the field. So whatever pollen was used by this flower to produce this fruit will be determining what the genetics of the seed are. And they're likely not going to be exactly identical in size and shape and color to this fruit. Well, that's okay. Take something like an heirloom tomato. In this case, heirloom tomatoes are made up from a series of seeds that are planted in the field that are all a little bit different. So each fruit is just slightly different than the mother plant next to it. That leads to fruit that are different sizes, colors, and shapes. But with an heirloom tomato, that might not be a big deal. In fact, sometimes that's part of the fun of choosing an heirloom tomato. So what about plants that are not produced from seed? Take a common vegetable like this. In this case, a potato has the ability to be asexually propagated. What that means is we can take a cutting from this potato, plant it, and we'll produce a genetically identical clone of this potato in the coming season. All we have to do is cut this potato into pieces and make sure that each piece has an eye. And it's from that eye that a new plant will emerge and new potatoes will grow underground. Recognize this? This is our sweet potato, our state vegetable. And look, this sweet potato is a little bit old and it's started to produce vines. In fact, you can take these vines, cut them, and plant them in your garden, and they'll root everywhere there's a leaf, and they will produce new sweet potatoes underground. In this case, we're looking at romaine lettuce. Normally, when we make a salad with a head of lettuce like this, we cut off the bottom part. However, you can take this bottom part and reroot it in your garden. The roots will emerge where they were originally attached, and a new head will form from one of the buds on this compressed stem. In this case, celery. And what's the first thing we usually do when we are going to use celery? We cut off the bottom. Now you could use that bottom in roasts or stews, or you could plant this bottom portion and a new celery head will form above ground. This is another plant that you can asexually propagate. And the way you do that is just cut the top off this pineapple and you can reroot this top. And if you give it enough time and the right conditions outside, it will grow another pineapple out the top. The problem with this though is, or the challenge we have with this, is that this is tropical. So it won't tolerate cold temperatures. So if you're going to do this, I recommend you do it in a pot. And then when the temperature gets below 50, you bring that pot back inside and protect it over the winter until you can set it back out again in the summer. Another common tropical that you'll find in your kitchen is an avocado. You can do that same technique with the pit or the seed that's inside the avocado. You can plant this seed and it will sprout a new avocado plant. But also, this plant is sensitive to cold, so you'll have to plant it in a pot and bring it inside at the end of the summer before it experiences those cold temperatures. You can learn more about asexual propagation of plants in the resources provided with this homegrown, including the North Carolina Master Gardener's Handbook on Asexual Propagation. If you're really planning to start a vegetable garden this summer, don't let a lack of seed slow you down, and good luck developing your green thumb.